Searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, because eyes so bright.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Scheananigans. We've got my girl Kiki here for some more hot topics and making her long-awaited debut on Scheananigans. My girl Krystina Arielle, how we doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
I know.
I love both of you guys, so this is going to be really fun.
And I love you. So, no, this is great. So, okay, when did we first meet?
You will not remember this. I will remember this.
Okay.
Because we were at the Abbey. It was like...
Oh, wait, were you pregnant?
Yes, with Ezekiel. It
Okay.
was like 20, and I just was going to like meet Ariana and have like
Yes.
a Red Bull. Everybody was at the Abbey. We went over there. I remember because you had on white platform Spice Girl shoes. And I was like, Scheana wears Spice Girl shoes. I love this for her.
Yes.
And I remember because it was when Ariana was in her like metal straw. She always had like a metal straw in her purse.
I did too.
And I went to go and like meet that night, and we said hi, and you were like, hi. And then we didn't end up like I think until we went to New York was when we finally
That's when we like really bonded. It was your birthday. It was the same night as Ariana's debut performance and
the premiere last year.
the premiere party.
Because you were dancing to Good as Gold, and I was like,
Yes.
I was like, this is the most meta moment of my life, is just like watching Scheana dance to Good as Gold. And it's like, listen, if you know it's good, you do your thing.
Yeah. Well, I love it. Ariana brought us together, and now here we are getting into Scheananigans. How was everyone's weekend?
I mean, I just got back from Mexico. I'm exhausted. I'm
Yeah,
kind of like
I wanna talk to you about
reacclimate,
that.
but like, you know, I'm feeling good. I think I got a little
Feeling
bit caught
good
up.
as gold.
Yeah, yes.
I'm feeling a little hungover. I was with Kiki last night, so we had Jared's birthday dinner.
Oh,
Ariana, Brittany, everyone was there. And yeah, the espresso martinis were flowing. And then there were vodka sodas at the Naughty Pig. And I'm kind of feeling it today. This is my body being like, you're about to be 40. You're going to get a little hungover now.
Yeah.
I never used
think
to.
I kept drinking until about like, I think midnight. And
Same.
it was like, I was feeling it this morning.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you guys met us at the bar, and I was like, you looked so amazing. And then
Oh my
and like
God,
when we got
thanks.
to the dive bar, I was just like wearing like whatever. And I was like, oh my God, is this like the life of a reality star where you have to look this good all the time because you never know who's going to take your picture? Because if so, I would not survive.
No, I genuinely hate getting dressed up. I hate wearing heels. I asked Janet, I was like, so do I have to wear heels? And she's like, yeah, it's Chateau. It's fancy. And I'm like, I'll do it for Jared. I'll do it for Jared. And I put on my heels and my dress and my lashes. But no, I don't enjoy doing that anymore. Then this morning, I wake up feeling hungover. I look in the mirror. I had my, like the Catrini, the eye patches, the little micro dart ones that I put on last night. I had my cream. So I think I'm going to wake up just feeling and looking refreshed. Looked a little tired. And then I go to put my makeup on and I'm like, yeah, that's now we've gone from a 1-car household to now we have 3 cars today because Brock got his truck. My new car is getting delivered today. I have my SUV, but now the problem is, okay, my makeup is in Brock's truck from yesterday and he didn't bring it in. So I have no makeup this morning. And I'm like, all right, I'm going through drawers. I find a foundation that's 2 shades too light, but then I find my caboodle that I was like, I know there's something in there. There's like a Mario blush. Way too bright. I mixed that with some bronzer, found an eyebrow pencil, and here we are. But Summer comes in and she's like, Mommy, that's my makeup because she likes to play with the caboodle.
Yeah.
So then it's like 8 a.m. and she's wanting to do her makeup and this is real makeup. I'm like, no, it's not yours. It's mine.
Yeah.
But she's putting her blush on. I'm like, whatever. Her dad's not here today.
Yeah.
I just have to respect your commitment to washing your makeup off from last night.
Yes.
Because I would have been the type to roll over the morning and been like, listen, this eyeshadow is still good. I'm going to wash this part
Mm-hmm.
and be good to go, because I would have went straight to sleep.
Mhm.
I do love to save the eyeshadow. When I get my makeup done, I just did this recently in New York. Priscilla did my makeup and then I had an event again the next day. So I take everything off around the eyes and I save the eyes for at least one more day.
Because it's still good.
It
Yeah.
is. And
Just
I'm
mat
like,
it
I
down.
can put some cream under my eyes, like whatever. But
Like, you look so refreshed.
Yeah.
What happened?
oh, anyway. How was your weekend? What'd you do?
I had a kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm. They're
I-
like every weekend right now because the COVID babies, all born
Yes.
in the spring of 2021. Every
Interesting.
weekend we have a party.
It is I love kids' birthday party. I love to throw a kid's birthday party. I love to throw a party, but it's just the like, did I get the right present? What is this kid like? And then you ask your kid, like, what is this person like? And he's like, my son's like, a lion, a tiger, a bear, and a
Oh, my.
python. Don't forget the python. But then I talked to her parents, and it turns out I was like, oh, like this is what he said. And they go, oh no, those are her favorite things. So he was right, like in the
Oh.
vein of like, I want to get her this.
Oh,
Okay.
I
But
love that.
mostly it was just like I hung out with my family. I did about 14 loads of laundry.
Yeah.
I like to say that I am Sisyphus and the laundry is my boulder, and I will continue pushing it up this hill and being tortured until it's like, oh, listen, no, there's 5 people. I promise you, kids aren't wearing all those clothes.
No.
You just don't want to clean their room.
Right.
They're just putting them in the bin. None of that stuff
That's
is
my
dirty.
husband. Literally, I'm constantly picking up his clothes from the floor. I'm like, the hamper's right there. Why can you not put it in the hamper? He's like, well, I'm going to put that back on. I'm like, then fold it, put it on the bench. Like, why is it just piles everywhere? Because then I just throw everything in the hamper.
Yeah.
And then there'll be like a joint or a lighter in his pocket that goes through the wash. And I'm like, should have emptied your
wow.
pockets. He's like, but I was going to put them back on. I'm like, but you didn't. And they were on the floor. And especially if my mom's at the house, I swear it's not like she gets in. She's not even all the way in the kitchen yet. And like she's moved something where I'm like, Mom, where she was like, oh, I'm putting it. I'm like, that stuff is on the counter because I need to take it with me. I'm leaving it here so I don't forget. And now she's already put it away. And I'm just like, woman, appreciate it. But
Yeah.
sometimes I leave things out for a reason, you know?
I
You
like
and Summer
living
get it
alone.
honest. Like the neatness.
Yeah.
Erica's very hands-on. You can see that coming out. in
Yes.
both of
No,
yours.
totally. Have you guys seen Snow White?
Yes.
I have not.
Okay. So we went and saw that. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. Zoe really
Yeah.
at the end of it, Zoe's like standing in the aisle, and then she was really upset when Snow White, like there's a part where she's in the water. You saw the movie.
Mhm.
So she falls into the water and Zoe goes, no, her dress. And then she gets out of the water and she goes, no, her bow. Because her red bow is gone.
Right.
And
The
she
headband's gone.
she was so just upset about like what had happened to Snow White's outfit.
Yeah.
And she was
Aw.
concerned. And it was great because in the back of the theater, there was this group of little girls all dressed like Snow White. And they're just like the whole movie after she sang the first song, they're like, Echo. And we go to the kids theater in
Right.
Pico.
You showed me that. I need to take her still.
It's called the Cinepolis Theater. It's in Pico Rivera. And they have a kids theater where you can go in and like before the
They can like
movie
play
starts.
and stuff.
There's a built-in playground
Oh.
on the wall, then there's a kids playground down here. They get to play before the movie. There's an intermission in the middle of the movie so that they can play a little more,
Smart.
get the like wigglies out and go get snacks and stuff.
Yeah. I
And
love
so we
that.
saw it there, which is just like a whole
Perfect.
experience in itself.
We saw it in Palm Springs and we were the only people in the theater. So we were letting Summer, I'm like, you want to go sit somewhere else? She's like walking around. And then at the part where, you know, she goes into the mirror and it shatters, she laughs out loud so loud. And then she's like, what the heck? I'm like, I wish there were other people in here to hear this. It was so adorable. But
That was Ezekiel's favorite part.
Yeah.
When we asked him after the movie, he was like, I like when she got sucked in the mirror. You're like,
yes.
So was it a flop or not? I keep hearing it's a flop.
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought it
Mhm.
was a good movie. I think the press of the girl when she was like shitting on it and
Yeah.
whatever it was, I feel like that's why a lot of people are like, oh, we're not supporting this. We're not going to go see it. But
I
I see you. You're thinking something.
I am. Well, I have a lot of feelings on, like, especially with those things,
Right.
is trying to look at it in the vein of remembering that this is a kid's movie, like a movie that's geared towards kids. And I feel like the inclination in our society sometimes is to go straight for, oh, this, like, the most negative slant that you can. Be like, this
Mhm.
movie is garbage, but you've never seen the movie or, like, taken it in and just automatically having this ideal, going in with the mindset this is going to suck without going in with the mindset, like, maybe this isn't for me. I can find something enjoyable about it. It's this penchant to be negative, and people have their feelings about Rachel Ziegler, but I like to think about it in the sense of I'm still watching this young girl in her early 20s
Mhm.
live her dream, and I don't think her dream should come with that much death threats, negativity, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I don't think that is the way that I feel like we have been so conditioned to be negative that we aren't meeting it with grace. Everybody just wants to, like, there's more clicks in the negative. There's more
Mhm.
clicks in shitting on something than saying, like, hey, like, you know what? This is what I really enjoyed about this movie. It was great. And then people are like, shill. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, like,
Right.
let somebody enjoy something.
Mhm.
So it's like we come to the understanding that some things are for us, some things aren't. Let that girl live.
I hate that, like, the actors, like, their whole, like, personality has to impact, like, a film at
Mhm.
all. Like, who was it? It was, like, Ethan Hawke's daughter was talking about how she wanted to, like, get rid of her social media. And they were like, if you do that, we're going to have to bring in basically, like, some sort of influencer that has more followers. Because we have
Yeah.
to have a certain number of following count in the cast. And I'm just like, why? That's not how we should be casting
Right.
movies.
Yeah.
And it's also not how you reach your audiences. You reach your audiences through genuine connection. You put people in front of them who love what they're doing, who love what they're talking about. And yeah, those louder voices are going to win out because they are negative and sometimes they're funny. But like that doesn't mean that because this person has the most clicks, the most likes, the most views, that they are right or that they're a kind person or that like go form your own opinion. Watch something. Like I feel like we need to get back to that, being like, you know what? This dude didn't like this, but I'm still going to go in and form my own opinion.
Yeah, for sure. So you were at the kids' theater, but you were at a kids' hotel.
Yes.
Right? I saw that. So was it like a Nickelodeon resort in Mexico?
Yeah. So my friend works for Nickelodeon. So she
Okay.
gets like,
Tell me
friends
about
and
that.
family rates. And so they have like a kids resort, one in Dominican Republic, one in Riviera Maya, Mexico.
Okay.
And my friend had already done the Dominican Republic one. She's like, she was surprising her kids with the Mexico one. She's like, she's a single mom. She's like, I'm going to go. Like, I'm sure they would love their auntie to be. And I was like, why not? Like, let's do it. I need a vacation anyways. And I don't know, like, I didn't know what I was expecting, but I knew I wanted to hang out with the boys anyways. I knew they had a water park. I love a water slide. But it was actually like, the response I actually got from my followers as I was documenting it was actually interesting because everyone knows, like, I don't want kids, but I love hanging out with my friends' kids. It's so fun. And they were like, I love this because I want to still hang out with my friends who don't have kids and I want to go on vacations with them, but I don't know how to really like ask them or I don't know if they want to do this. And now I feel like I can show them this because it was like, it's all inclusive. So you got food and drink. It was actually good food. And I will say like, as they have swim up bars and all of that stuff. And the water is just, it's not too deep. So even if you're a little drunk, they're not going to drown because like they can stand up, right? So you're like, you're keeping an eye on, but you're like, there's no 12-foot area or anything. And also at the water park, obviously there's lifeguards. I mean, you just hear the whistle going every time. So it's like and it was just like so much fun. And it's like a resort. So you're barricaded and they won't even let you in the resort without like, you have to be, even your door. It's like everything is like, so you feel like super secure. We never left the resort. And I was like, I think I want to sort of like explore this like moms and aunts vacation. Like, how can we vacation with our friends with kids and friends without kids and still have a really good time?
Wait, I love that.
I do too.
Yeah, because there are so many all-inclusive resorts, like where we got married in Cancun. That resort, honestly, like I would go back without summer. Like it still was a great resort, but I love that they had like zip lining, they have the water slides and all that. And like as an adult, I love a water slide.
Yeah.
I love a lazy river. So would you do it again?
I would totally do it again.
Yeah.
Except the lazy river, they don't let you take alcohol in it. I was very surprised.
Really?
I
See, the
know.
one that we were in did, and we're drinking our drink. And you know that they have the bucket that after it fills up, it dumps.
Oh my God.
And it dumped. And I was like, well, I can't drink this now. I'll get Montezuma's revenge. And I was like, damn it. I guess this is why you're not supposed to have drinks in the lazy river.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. Great Wolf Lodge, but they do a siren before that bucket tips over. And when I tell you, look at my husband, grab your kid, and I take off running. I'm not doing this. I don't want a bucket of water dumped over my head. If I wanted water over my head, I'd take a shower.
I hate it so much.
I do love a lazy river.
Yeah.
I know, right?
No, I think that's such a good idea, though, to go and actually, like, I love going with my sister and, like, my sister and her kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I love when my friends come over that don't have kids and just come and hang out and watch Barbie or just, just hang out. I don't want to go out to dinner. I don't want to go do stuff all the time. I want to go and sit on your couch, sit on my couch and watch TV and play on our phone.
Yeah, that's what me and Allie do. Like she'll come over, hang out with Summer, hang out with the cats, but she just like, she gets her fix, and she's obviously at a transitional period in her life, but she's also young. She's in her 20s. You don't need to even think about having kids anytime soon, but she loves to come over, hang out with Summer and do that. And it's nice when you have your friends who don't have kids, spend time with your kid.
Yeah.
And it was like the reason I wanted to be a cool auntie was because I had such a cool auntie in my life that like literally it informed, like I was like, I want to be a cool auntie. I don't even want to be a parent. And I loved it because I really felt like I literally said to them, I was like, I'm creating really good core memories for you. You don't even realize it.
Right?
And he was like, what's that? I was like, you'll figure it out.
Watch Inside Out. You'll get it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to get into some hot topics. Be right back. Okay, everyone, listen up because I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite places to online shop. Unless it's Christmas time, you will not catch me out shopping on Melrose or a mall anymore because I have Revolve, and it is everything you need to wear for every occasion. my first time on the Revolve website, I'm not going to lie, it can be overwhelming. There's so much to choose from. But when you know exactly what you're looking for, it's so easy. My personal go-to is a matching set. I'm absolutely obsessed, whether it's a crop top and shorts, a skirt, or pants. I love a matching set. So that's where I always start. And once I start, I go down a rabbit hole, just like Alice in Wonderland. And right now it's April, and that means it's festival season and my personal favorite time of the year to get looks from Revolve's festival shop, which is now open. And because festival dressing is kind of Revolve's thing, they've created a roundup of all of the styles you'll want to wear in the desert this season. Also, I have the Valley premiere coming up soon. I still need to get a dress for that. And Revolve is the only place I'm going to be looking. So from last minute getaways to party dressing and seasonal upgrades, Revolve has you covered with fast 2-day shipping and easy returns all on them. And for a limited time, you can shop a curated selection of my favorite styles at revolve.com/goodasgold and receive 15% off your first order with code goodasgold. That's revolve.com/goodasgold to shop my top picks and get 15% off your first order with code goodasgold. Offer ends April 7th, so don't miss out. Okay, wait, before we get into more hot topics, I have to tell you guys. So I was with Kiki last night, so she heard a little bit of it, but I have to tell you. So we're at Chateau for Jared's birthday. That place is actually haunted. So we didn't know if it was a ghost or a burglar, right? Outside of that, I'll get to that story. Janet left Chateau at 4 a.m. She said Jason was asleep and the lamp next to her kept turning on. And she was like, Jason, and he got up and he turned it off and it turned on again. It kept doing this. No one in the room, but the light kept turning on. So they got in an Uber at 4 a.m. and went home and she still hasn't slept.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. So that happens after though, right? So we're at the Naughty Pig. We were at Chateau for dinner. They're staying there. They have a big bungalow. It's like 3 bedrooms. We go to the Naughty Pig, and then Janet's best friend, Maddie, she was taking photos. And I just saw so much of myself in her in this moment. She realizes, and she has 2 little kids, same age as Summer and a baby. And all of a sudden we're at the bar and she's like, oh my God, my phone. And just that panic as a mom, I was like, oh my God, must find phone. And I was like, do you think you left it in the room? And Janet's a little tipsy and she's got the key. And I'm like, I'll go back with you. And she's like, are you sure? It's drizzling. I'm in heels. I don't care. I was like, I'm going back with you. So we walk back. We open the room with the key. It's like old school where you have to put an actual physical key in. We get in. She finds her phone like right away. We have a moment. She was just like, thank you so much. I'm like, no, I'm like, this is me. Like, you're thinking about everyone else, just taking pictures, making sure everyone's having a good time. They're all capturing the moments that you didn't even think about yourself and you left your phone. And so I'm like, I wanted to come back with you, make sure you got it. So we have a moment. She's like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I got to take these shoes off for a few. So I'm walking around barefoot, just like stretching my feet out. We have another moment. We're in there for like 5-10 minutes, just the 2 of us or so, I think. All of a sudden, this guy, like good looking guy, dressed nice, comes from the patio. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it's a 3-bedroom bungalow. I don't know who all of Jared's friends are who are staying. So I feel bad that I'm in like this guy's space. And it reminded me of a moment from Hot Tub Time Machine. Have you seen that movie?
I have.
Okay, I know you've seen it. But where Chevy Chase, they're like, oh, okay, so like we gotta go, like the hot tub, right? And he's like, okay, let's go. And then they turn around and he's gone. And they're like, this fucking guy, like what the hell? It was a moment like that where I'm like, so we're going to the Naughty Pig. And he's like, the Naughty Pig. And I'm like, yeah, for Jared's the rest of his birthday celebration, like we're gonna go. And he's like, let's go. I'm like, okay. And so Maddie and I start walking out. The door closes behind us and we're like, it's kind of weird. We're like, we're just going to keep going. We get to valet. He's not behind us. We walk out to the street. He's not behind us. We get to the bar and we're like, this fucking guy never came. So I'm telling Janet and Jason this and we're like, is that a ghost? Was that a real person? I'm like, Maddie, I'm so glad we were together because we saw that. There was a human there. I'm like, could you describe him to the cops if you had to? So she starts describing him. I'm like, okay, we saw the same person. Jason was like, I don't know about this. I'm going to go back. There was a real person in the room who was not supposed to be there. Apparently, he was staying with friends in another bungalow, drunk, wandered into our bungalow. But then security, like they're searching his pockets, like making sure he didn't steal anything. He was in there for like over an hour.
That's crazy.
Drank all of their champagne.
No.
Yes. but it was not a ghost. But then the ghost showed up and is like fucking with them with the lights last night. And I'm like,
how did he get in there if you had the hard key?
I don't know if we didn't
probably
lock the
hopped
door
over the
behind us
patio,
or if he just
maybe?
hopped over from patio to, I don't know how the bungalows are
Yeah.
there, but it was so fucking
That's
weird.
creepy.
What if it really was like American Horror Story?
Right?
And then you tried to go leave and he tried to leave with you, but you get stuck in the hotel.
Oh my
No,
god.
it was creepy.
No.
But anyway, I just had to tell that story because it was wild. And so then, we get back to the bar and Ariana, she's looking at me so weird. She gets to me like so closely. And I'm telling the story and I was like, what? I'm like, are you good? And she's like, I'm trying to see if you're lying. And I'm like, she's like, I can tell when you're lying. And I'm like, obviously, you've known me for like 15 years. But I'm like, I'm not lying. Like now I'm smiling because I'm like, no, I swear to God, there was a guy there. And then when Jason came back, she's like, okay, so you weren't lying. I was like, no, I'm telling you the truth. It was so weird.
I would have just, listen, it was a ghost. I don't know what to tell
Right?
you. It was a ghost and that's just where we're at.
No, it was wild. But anyway, just had to tell you that story because that was crazy. But okay, so going back to mom and kid stuff. So I saw that Chappell Roan had made some comments about motherhood recently. Did you guys see this? She said on the Call Her Daddy podcast that all of her friends who have kids are in hell. She doesn't know anyone who's happy with children at this age, saying that they don't have light in their eyes and all of these things. And a lot of parents, were obviously offended when she said this because they kind of felt like it was an attack on them. Do we feel that is warranted?
I was about to just straight up say a hit dog will holler. But no, here's the thing. Let that girl have her opinion. They're asking her questions. They threw this person who's never had a media training a day in her life. I saw something that said maybe she's doing these interviews like this because she doesn't want y'all to come talk to her.
Yeah.
Like there's this, again, we goes back to the likability thing where you have to be likable. You have to be this. And she's like, no, bitch, I'm just talented.
Right.
Let me live, let me ride.
Yeah.
And speaking to the parent aspect of it, listen, we all have those days where we need to just be honest. We are tired. We are exhausted.
Yes.
It is not all peaches and rainbows. And that's just the honest truth about it. So we're going to feel some type of way because that also plays into that mom guilt that we have about like, oh, well, no, because I'm balanced. I'm healthy. I'm well. I'm this. My kids are great. Yeah, all those things can be true. But your friends can see it from the outside and only hear the complaint part about it. They don't see all of those like fun moments about it, especially your friends who at this point don't have kids and they don't interact with children.
Yeah.
All they're seeing from you is like, oh my God, today I woke up this morning. My kid woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning and they were like, talk to me. Like all they're hearing is that part. And they're like, they don't think like, oh, I'm listening with grace. This is just a vent.
Right.
It's, oh my God, you must hate your life. It's like if you go to somebody that's like unmarried and you vent about your husband and you're like, this motherfucker right here. And they're just like, oh my God, they're getting divorced. They are getting divorced. Like, they hate each other. No, people disagree. People do not get along 24/7. They don't enjoy life 24/7. And like she's answering questions as honestly as she can and how she feels about it. Those are her feelings. She is allowed to have her feelings. That is valid for her. So we can sit here and again, it goes back to we are always up in arms about something. Y'all, I am in my soft era. I don't want to be bad about nothing. I'm going to meet you with grace. And if I don't want to meet you with grace, I'm going to walk away.
Yeah. And to give her some grace. Also, I think she was more referring to like her friends in their 20s. Like I can't imagine if I had a kid. Like my mom was 19 when she had me.
Yeah.
And she did amazing with the tools she was given, but now in this day and age, everything's on Google. Like literally summarize the question. She's like, Mommy, just look at it on your phone. And I'm like, our parents didn't have this luxury.
No.
So like, I can't imagine if I was a mom. Yeah, maybe there wouldn't be light in my eyes every day. And I would seem miserable because I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
How often did you see your mom like take a break where she just like she went out of town? Like she sat down, she did something. And I remember like my oldest son, his mom was going out of town and he had said something. And I just go, he's like, she's leaving out of town. I was like, well, you're here this weekend. I don't understand. And he goes, well, she's going out of town. I say, your mom's a person.
Yeah.
Like your mom is still a person. And I think it's easy to not see our parents as people and to see like that they sacrificed all this stuff. They did like gave up their time, gave up their personality. We live in a different time where we have a lot more luxury, we have parents that are more willing to be there and hands-on. And just, it's a lot, man. Stop judging people.
Yeah.
Sit down.
And I think that it can all be true because it's like maybe there are people who are miserable with kids, just as like,
for sure.
Look, I enjoy not having kids, but I know there are people that don't have kids who don't enjoy it. They wish they had. So it's like, all of these things can be true. Like, not every single parent who had kids, like, maybe there are some that regret it, but like a lot of them don't. And maybe some people who didn't have kids, like maybe a lot of them are happy, but maybe some of them do regret not doing it. It's like all of it can be true. And
yeah, and I mean, you never know until you're in it, you know? It's like, okay, you have 2 kids, obviously. I have 1 and, well, yes, 3, but you've had 2 and you have an older son as well.
Yes.
So, tell me about that. Okay, coming into a relationship with a man who already has a kid.
I'm very intentional about that.
Yes.
Like, I've sent a edit to multiple things. Because that is my son, and he is. I've been with Luke since he was 2 years old. He's exceptionally important to me. The first time I ever met that little boy sitting in the back seat watching his iPad, watching PBS Kids, side eyeing me from the thing. I was like, "That's my dude." And coming into it, I'm coming in as a kid of divorce. My husband, his parents have been married 50 plus years. Her parents have been married for years and years and years, so they don't have like a history of divorce. They don't have that connection with him in that way, where as a third party coming in, never trying to step on her toes. We've always come into this thing. When he and I got serious, she and I went out and I said, listen, I love you and I love him. And I can't say I love you. I can't say that I love your son and be a dick to his mother.
Right.
I don't want him to ever see me disrespecting her. I'm never going to watch him disrespect her because I respect her, and you're going to put some respect on your mom's name. And I think that those things are important because I did come into it and I am the third party, and you have to approach it like this. I didn't come in between your marriage. This child was 2 years old before I came into this picture, but I know how it feels to be like the kid going back and forth. And there's a sense of like, I need to know everything. I need to feel safe. It is my job to not make this about myself, to not be like, oh, let jealousy where there need not be any. Step into the place of being present for this child, loving him, and just making sure that we are a family. I knew ultimately one day we're going to have children. I want to make sure that if I want to say, hey, Laura, I want our kids to hang out today, there's not going to be any beef. It's just going to be like, okay, like we'll switch this day. That relationship is as important to me as my marriage because it is about making sure that he comes up feeling accepted. Amazing. He feels loved. He has that bond with his brothers and sisters and feels welcome. And that is why, like, that is my child. It'll be my child to the day I die. And so it's extremely important to me to always be like, no, like I do not have 2 children. I have 3 children because that is my baby.
Yeah. I loved what you said recently when y'all were at the school and you're like, our son. And then they thought like, oh, wait, this lesbian couple.
We did. We were at this thing and this lady was looking at us and Laura and I, like, we both are always like, oh, like my son, our son. Like that's that's our hilarious relationship. Like that's how it is. And so my husband is not there. Right. He's like off somewhere with Zoe. And I realize this couple is looking at us like just looking back and forth, just so confused. And I look at Laura and I'm like, oh, we think we're together.
I had 2 really interesting moments like in this past week. One was at the Nickelodeon resort because there was this family and I ended up like talking to the husband at the swim up bar and discovered that him and his wife had been divorced, but they still go on family vacations together because they want their kids to just like still have that family moment. And it was like so interesting because they had that really great dynamic. And right before I had left, for Mexico, I had a barbecue with all of my friends, and it was just like, it was so Modern Family because basically my friend, she's divorced her husband. Her husband did step out and he's with this new woman. They have kids. So now her kid now has, brothers and sisters, but we're all at this barbecue together. And it's like, you never, at that moment when you find out, like, you're like, I hate that guy. But like, now we're just like eating hot dogs together. Like, it's not about us at all. It's about all of these kids.
Yeah, it is great when you can still like get them together to vacation and have that.
It is. And it's like, it's not, listen, I did not grow up with that, but I had a great stepdad who was like a blueprint for how that was going to be. And I think it's not all of those situations are going to be like that because the problem in a lot of those situations, there's a lot of ego that exists. There's a lot of like, how can I put myself, like, it's not about necessarily the kid in this situation. It's about, I'm still hurt, so let me inflict my hurt instead of trying to like find a way to treat this and to move forward. And a lot of times it is not easy being a bigger person in any situation.
Tell me about it. It's exhausting.
It's not. But at the end of the day, we have to do what's best. Like those kids at the end of the day are the most important thing,
Mhm.
how they come up, how they connect to each other. And we just have to step outside ourselves in that.
Kind of reminded me when you brought that up about the finale of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and how you saw Mo take Portia, you know, like he went on a trip and then he's like, yeah, this was the first trip, like not as a family. And just seeing that, like, it was so awkward that I loved that they kept the awkward silence in their conversation because I'm like, these people were married, 27 years?
Yeah.
And now you're not, I mean, they do still do the family vacations. They did like Colorado for Christmas or Aspen, whatever they did. But now you are having separate lives. And what an insane transition. And just like watching that, it was so raw. It was so real. But I'm like, thank you, Bravo, for leaving in that awkward silence because you got to really feel that. And I just like, my heart broke for her because it's like, okay, we are moving on.
Yeah. I think that she probably, if she hadn't been such a public figure, I actually think that she probably would have rather existed in a life where it's like, we can just live separate lives because I don't want to be apart from you. But unfortunately, it's not going to work out like that. And honestly, I don't think he wanted that. I think he was sort of ready to be like, I don't know, he kind of seems like he enjoys his bachelor pad and all of these things. So I don't know.
I know. And then there's the girl at the airport.
Oh my God.
Do you think that was set up?
I think set up by the woman. I think
her?
that she absolutely was like, yeah, like we're going to be here because why would paparazzi be getting anyone in this little airport, Maurizio?
I was in that airport with Jennifer Aniston.
Exactly.
The reunion, though, it's gonna.
I mean, Garcelle, like, I'm just like, I really want to know exactly what went down because it seems like, I don't know, the whole dynamic with her and Bose, like, it's really interesting because I was surprised that Bose remained silent on Watch What Happens Live when Andy said, like, how do you feel about Garcelle leaving? Like,
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like he asked about it. And like,
missed a whole segment of the whole, like,
oh, I got to watch that.
You know, look, Erica Jane, look, I get why she probably stayed silent, but I don't know why Bose did because I feel like if anything, just like give her props for like kind of opening the door there or anything. I don't know. It was really, really awkward. And I don't know. I mean, we've seen so many storming outs on reunions lately.
Yeah,
I just did not think that Garcelle, of all people, would be one of the people that went out like that. So it has to be pretty bad.
And I think a lot of that goes back again to, you see a little bit of the hurt in Garcelle when she's going back and she's like, Sutton is crying out for Kyle's attention and doing these things. And she's like, I've been here, like riding for you. I've been your friend. Like you haven't had to like chase me to be your friend. And so to see somebody kind of walk away from that a little bit in the like, and if you've ever been like the not cool girl and somebody is trying to you want to get into that circle, but you have like that best friend who's been there for you. I have no
idea what that's like.
And then it's like, but no, like the cool girls are being really nice to me. So like, let me go over here and do this. But you're still leaving behind a friend who put a lot of effort into that thing and has already felt isolated. We've seen her talk about feeling isolated, feeling alone. So to have the one person she thought that she could ride for kind of not have her back when she's had her back repeatedly, I think for her, like that might have been like, oh, like I truly am in this alone and I would rather walk away and keep living my best
on
life.
The rest of your career, your family. Like, I mean, she has it all, you know, she has such an amazing career without the show. I'm genuinely going to miss her presence on the show because I love her. She's always been one of my favorites.
That's my fancy.
I mean, I had been talking up into this. Like, I was wondering what the next step was for Garcelle. I was like, is there going to be another season? Because I was curious, like, where her storyline would go. Because I'm like, can we focus on the sons in their career? I don't know if that's what Beverly Hills is about. So I was a little bit concerned. But now it's like, this isn't how I wanted you to go out.
Right.
I'm glad she did it on her own terms.
Yeah.
Because I feel like maybe she did see the writing on the wall, or maybe she didn't but I feel like there was always an invitation for her to come back in this respect, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair, we would not have the Hadids in the capacity that we do had it not been for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
This is true.
So
facts.
It's like we could have done it. It would have been a little different. What's the male model path look like?
Yeah,
You're right.
We didn't get to see Anwar.
Yeah.
I don't know what his journey
That's
was
true.
like to the front page of the magazine.
That's true.
Sticking with Beverly Hills, did you guys watch this week's episode of The Masked Singer? Because I'm convinced that Yorkie is Erica Jane.
There's no way that Yorkie is not.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, that voice
100%.
is,
I'm like, come on. No, I don't know
No.
who anyone is.
Here's the thing. It was the in front of Pump Dogs
Yes.
and Vanderpump
Yep.
Dogs in front of the pink wall. That pink. I thought
Bat
the
and
pink, I thought
Yorkie
it was
fighting in the
Lala.
Sir Alley. I'm like, this has to be someone from Bravo.
Yeah.
But I had no idea who. I just saw that photo of, us at the Sir Alley.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to know when I hear the voice. And immediately.
Yeah. There's no
It
other
has to
voice
be.
like that. Yeah.
I thought it was Lala at first when I first saw the promo where it was like Bat.
How
and
wild would
Puppy.
that be
I
if
thought
it's
that-
Lala?
I was like, they're both in front of Vanderpump Dogs. I was like, go ahead, just drop the episode so I can hear the voice and tell you exactly who it is.
Yes.
But no, and then I heard that and it was like, I could be the one that should do what. I was like, Erica, do you know how many times I've listened to them songs? I know your voice, girl.
I saw her in concert in Brooklyn. So
Oh.
yes.
Love that.
I
Did she
know.
do Sex Shooter?
I don't know this. I don't even know the names of the songs. I just was like I was so drunk, but it was
Vanity cover.
Yeah, okay.
You're so good at your impressions. So how many housewives have you done? Because let's talk about you and your career for a little bit first. You do so much. You host, you act, you impersonate, you do all of the things. But which housewife has been your favorite to do?
So I play Dungeons and Dragons. It's a tabletop role-playing game. It is one of my primary jobs. It's extremely fun. I've done shows like Critical Role, and on Critical Role, we did an Elden Ring one-shot that was based on the game Elden Ring. Go watch it. It's on YouTube. And I played a character called the Prophetess who was based on Mary Cosby.
Yeah.
And she would say things like, you were born to parents. There were two of them. And she would just make things outrageous. And so most recently I did a game where I loosely based on Meredith Marks, who I adore. So please know that this is 1000% with love. I played a giant chicken named Sheridan. And so the thing was Sheridan was that Sheridan has a very eloquent way of speaking. She has a very distinct inflection, and the way that things roll is very nice. And so it was a very heightened, exaggerated version of her. But my ultimate favorite will always be I had a multi-level marketing salesperson, and she was based on Ramona.
Uh-huh.
And so she would say, hi, I would like you to join my business. Would you like to be an independent business owner? So what you do is you give me 5 coins, and then you go find 4 friends and give them these scrolls, and they give you 5 coins, and you bring them back to me. And ultimately the money will come back down because it's a trickle down economy. If you look at it for any kind of acting, any of this stuff, for whatever people want to say about housewives, which I believe people who watch reality TV, there's studies. They're more intelligent and emotionally intelligent. I saw it on the Instagram. It must be true. So there's this whole thing where if you want to know inflections, dialect, different things, watching these housewives, we have housewives from every region that you could possibly think about. Every kind of accent, voice, Melbourne, all these different things that you reach from. And you do hear these voices over and over again. And we go and we hear them, and then they're in meme form, they're in GIF form.
Yeah.
I love that I get to kind of bring that into it and talk about reality television in an extremely nerd space. And get that to be, I do a show on Dropout TV, the streaming app, called Actually. We are doing our 3rd part of our reality TV episodes coming up, and we did it's reality reunion. It's not reunion themed, but we dressed like it was a reunion episode.
Okay.
I do have an envelope that I bring on stage that may or probably mostly not has something inside of it. It was we were going to print out these big giant cutouts of aggressively nice text messages and be like, oh, well, you said to me in our text messages the other day, how dare you? You said you are a light in my life and I love being your friend. Did you say? And we were going to do it but it's
That's
so
funny.
exciting. It's just trivia about all of the housewives
No, I
stuff. This
love
is our
that.
3rd one, and I'm super excited about it.
Oh yeah. Congrats. All right, we're going to stick with some housewives. I'm not caught up yet, but on this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're starting to get the narrative of what went down last year during filming that led to Kenya exiting the show. I saw some comments online that people feel Kenya has been vindicated. I know both of you can explain this much better than I can, so give me the tea.
I mean, basically, the rumors last year were that Kenya revenge porn. She was at her
Mhm.
hair spa event and she blew up this huge photo of the newbie Brit, and it was like naked
Yes.
photos. I don't know if Brit was on only. I don't know what Brit was doing.
What was the recording? Somebody was like, "That's a penis."
Oh yeah, there was like an audio recording. She was calling her a thought. There was a whole bunch. So people were like, "Why would Kenya do that?" You know, and so she got suspended from filming.
Right.
Kenya claimed that she was being threatened by guns. Brit denied it. She was just like, "That never happened."
Oh.
Now we get to this week's episode. They're at a dinner Angela's throwing in some bank vault, and Brit is just clearly going after Kenya. Like, Kenya's the longest standing housewife. It's
Mhm.
clear that she wanted to go after her to get her time. And Kenya's like, "I don't have time for you, little girl." Basically, like, little girl. is what I feel like. And so they're, you know, she's like all upset. And Kenya's like, "Let me just get out of here." And then she was just like, because Kenya called her a peasant.
Because it was a question. They were
Mhm.
playing, you know, those non-messy housewife
Right.
games.
Oh my
But
God.
think about like on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And
I
you
was
remember
just
how
thinking
it was
that, the
just that
truth
like
box.
pretty
Yeah.
much. And so she's like, Brit's like, "Can you be nice to Brit?" I didn't even write this question. Like, I didn't even write this question. And she's just like, it's like, "Can you say anything to her in a kind way?" And she's like, "I'm kind to everyone." And she keeps like, but she gets escalated. Like, she starts getting heated about like, she's like, you're not gonna disrespect me. You're not gonna disrespect me. And King is like, "Okay, you," and she's like, "You're trying to make a moment." And King is like, "I am the moment."
Oh yeah.
And then
Gone with the wind.
Because she's like, "Don't
fabulous.
come for the queen. You're
Yes.
a peasant," you know.
And she tried to say, "Don't come for me unless I send for you." And King is like, "Oh, I love like my catchphrase."
Yeah.
Which is funny. They're breaking the fourth wall so much.
I love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's real.
Yes.
Stop pretending you're not on TV. I've been
Right.
watching you for 10 years.
Yes.
I know you're not going to the office every day.
Yeah.
Like, let's be so for real.
Yeah.
You have 47 businesses and I've never seen, what does Go Naked Hair look like?
Yeah.
I want to know what the office looks like. Show it to me. Like, why are we still pretending this doesn't happen? So they're sitting at the table.
Yeah.
And she like kind of keeps coming for her, and it just kind of like sours the event. Everybody is in their confessionals like,
Like, what
What is
happened?
this?
Why is Brit like
Mhm.
amped up on it? Like, I don't understand what happened. And so Kenya's like, "Let's just get out of here." They're taking their gift boxes. They're going to their cars. And on the way out, Brit is just like, "You know, she can call me a peasant, but I got my pistols." And we're like,
I
"Wait,
got whips,
pistols?"
I got pistols, and she just starts like throwing this stuff out there, and you're like,
Why
Hey,
are
what
we
are you-
bringing guns into it?
Right.
what are we talking? Like, and it's you know how like those fights go, like
Mhm.
obviously more than anybody, but to see it escalate in that way and for her to keep going, it was definitely it felt like an I want a moment, I want a thing, and listen. Kenya is one of those people where she's not a you go low, I go high. She's a you go low, I go to hell person.
Mhm.
And so she came back and she I don't know what she did, and that's why I don't want to speak on it until they reveal it. But I do like what she said. I don't like seeing my narrative being told by someone else, and
Yep.
not having Kenya in a confessional to tell us her side of the
Mhm.
story when we know Kenya.
Mhm.
We have been in the trenches with
Right.
Kenya. I've seen people have done some hella ridiculous stuff on Bravo and not had their confessionals completely cut out
Mhm.
and been made an example of in that way. So it's frustrating in a way to just be like, I'm not used to watching Atlanta, seeing Kenya sitting here chuckling and not knowing why she's giggling.
Mhm.
I need to know why she's giggling. I need to know how she's feeling. And we're watching her narrative be told by somebody that we don't know. And then it's disjointed, and it makes the season, which is a really great season and a really great reboot, feel disjointed to not have her perspective.
And it's
Yeah.
also not fair because she's been on 4 episodes. She's going to be on this 5th because the 5th one is her. She's basically been on half the season at this
Right.
point. For her to not even get the chance to have these confessionals is
Ugh.
not okay.
Yeah.
And so I think that she's been vindicated. I don't know. I feel like Bravo might owe her an apology. I mean, you know, she had to go on an apology tour.
Right.
But I don't know. It doesn't seem like she's basically saying I wasn't protected. And it feels like that. If someone said pistols around me twice,
Yes.
I would be like, this is not okay. Are you
Right.
going to do something about this? And even in the car when they're leaving, you hear her mic still on. She's like, "Did you hear this girl talking about guns? This girl's got to go."
Yeah.
She clearly was like, this is not okay.
And
Totally.
she was suspended. She wasn't terminated.
Yeah.
It was
Correct.
a suspension. But I'm hoping that they did that in a way to be let's let the viewers watch this and
Yeah.
see this, and then we can kind of walk it back once those opinions are formed in it. But it's also too touchy of an issue to just be well, this is what Kenya did.
Mhm.
Well, also, we haven't seen what Britt did. We haven't seen the provocation. We haven't seen how this got to this tit for tat level.
Well,
Mhm.
Britt turned off her comments. I did go because, of course, before the episode, I wanted to see, and then
Ooh.
after her comments were limited, I would say.
Interesting. You know what else I saw that was interesting? Rebecca Minkoff recently revealed that she has a floozy clause in her will. So apparently, if her husband shacks up with some young fling after she dies, the assets immediately transfer to a trust for the kids so the woman can't get access to her money.
What qualifies a floozy, though?
I don't know. Like, is this brilliant or is this like a mechanism to control your husband from beyond the grave?
That's crazy.
It is because
I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
I just saw that and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
a floozy.
Floozy
Yeah.
clause.
Who's saying what about hussy? I like a hussy clause. It rolls better.
It's just too broad because, like, my definition of a floozy is not the definition, your definition of a floozy.
Right.
You're showing
And just because
cleavage.
someone's young doesn't mean they're a floozy either.
No.
Like, you know, like, what does it mean?
That's
Yeah.
just such a random, like, it is controlling to a point where it's,
Right. You're like, when I die, I still control you.
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I'm not here. You better not bring her to my house. But that's neither here nor there. Go buy a new house.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go do something elsewhere.
Yeah.
She's basically saying you're going to have to get an AI doll, clone my personality into the AI doll, and that's going to be your wife after I die.
What was that Black Mirror episode where it was like they put the personality and then you could ultimately put it into the body?
Oh my
Yes.
God, Black Mirror.
Oh, it's about to come back too.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So ready.
So good.
Are you guys watching White Lotus?
I haven't watched last night's episode, but yes, I am watching it.
I need to catch up.
The Southern Charm influence makes me chuckle.
See, I don't watch Southern Charm either. Give me your perspective
Interesting.
on that side of the Craig and Paige breakup, like storyline. What's going on Southern
After
Charm?
watching the reunion, I'm just sort of like, Craig, you're not the victim in this. And actually now knowing that Craig has been dating someone, I mean, it's been 3 months since the breakup. He's now
Uh-huh.
with this girl, supposedly Natalie.
Is this the same Natalie he was dating before Paige? Because he said something about the timing of this event. And every time somebody goes Natalie, I'm like, Natalie.
I don't
And Craig was dating a Natalie
Ooh.
before, like, while
Tea.
Paige was still on Summer House and was still, like, it was the whole
Oh.
thing with, what's that hot man?
Andrea?
Andrea.
Oh.
It was when that whole thing was going down, but Craig was like, I'm still talking to Natalie.
Oh.
And it was
Oh, yes, I
I
do
don't
remember
know
that.
I
if it
wonder if
is.
it's that it's her, like, I don't remember her.
wonder.
She never got, like, a last name on Southern Charm
Okay.
because the women don't matter. But it's, where's the lie? Where's the lie? If we're going to talk about shows on Bravo, I am grateful for the Summer House Southern Charm war right now. I want to see the opposing opinions. I want to see the women of Summer House are in a position where they actually, like, get to use their voice. Their voices are heavily featured. The women of Southern Charm, their voices are so contingent on the men. And, like, if they speak out of turn, then all of a sudden they're getting whacked in the public. It's just like being like, you show the F up on vacation for your man. Like, bro, come on. Like, there's a protection of men that happens on a certain channel that I enjoy watching. And there's always a matriarch type figure that sits and watches, and they protect the male figure that is involved in the situation. Because, of course, the floozies
Whoever could
are
you be
in the
talking
wrong.
about? I have no idea. But, speaking of the men of a certain network, we've skipped the Jax-Hole here at Scheananigans for the last couple of weeks, but this week is going to make up for it because none other than Mr. Jax Taylor is my Jax-Hole yet again. So he did this cover story for Us Weekly. Did you guys see it? He said a lot of stupid things. A lot. And he said he's not going to talk negatively about Britney, but then he proceeded to do exactly that. Said he felt blindsided by Britney wanting a divorce. And if things were so bad, why was she trying to have another kid? Why was she wanting to have sex with him? Like, all of these things, like, it's called trauma bonding. Okay, Jax? So, like, come on. Literally, this fucking guy. Like, okay, cool. You're sober now. Good for you. You're still an asshole. You're still a Jax-Hole. And that had to go to him. But I've also got a Jax-Hole number 2.
Oh, two.
So the state of Utah, the entire state, okay, they became the first state to fully ban LGBTQ plus pride flags in government buildings, in schools, starting May 7th. Like, why has it got to be on my birthday too? You got to get a real ID by May 7th. And this is starting May 7th. That local government buildings will be fined $500 a day, just like right ahead of Pride Month. You know,
Yeah.
June is coming up and they're doing this. And I have to say, though, props to local leaders in Salt Lake who have illuminated the city. They have the county buildings and like rainbow lights
Love
and
it.
all of that. It's like it's not a flag, you know, but we're still going to
Mhm.
show our support. And also, so this is like for the flag band each night, they're doing this like rainbow thing.
Okay.
But also, Bronwyn, Real Housewives of Salt Lake, my girl, she was out at the state capitol building over the weekend protesting in a very chic rainbow parka. And we love to see it. You know, visibility matters.
Yeah.
And
She's always walked the walk,
always.
which is why we love
No,
Bronwyn.
I love her. She
Yeah.
was such a great addition to the show.
Mhm.
I can't wait to see what's next on that show. I'm fully sucked in and I need to go back and do a rewatch starting from the first season because I know I missed it.
I think it's also, it's so important to note in these situations. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world right now,
Mhm.
and it is. Yes, we speak about silence as being complicit, but I think we have to make as much noise as possible. Trans rights are human rights, and we have to be able to say that clear-throated and represent. We are all out here. If one person is losing their rights, the person that took those rights is not above taking your rights away.
Mhm.
The person that came and said this person is not a person because of this reason, this person doesn't deserve to exist because of this reason, that just trickles down. Because
Mhm.
ultimately, they only think that one thing is going to be right, and they're going to find another reason to take you out, to take
Yeah.
you out, to take you out. Support each other, have each other's backs, be there for each other, and just remember, they're trying to exhaust you. They are trying to exhaust you. They're going to throw as much stuff at the wall to see if it sticks, because you're going to get tired and you're going to get worn out and you're not going to want to go after it, but you have to keep going.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, our lives, our children's lives, everything depends on this, and we have to be able to stand with each other or we're all falling down.
Yeah, for sure.
Amen.
Amen. And thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. You know, we got to do it again. If you guys want to hear more of Kiki's hot takes, you can listen to her on Reality Checked on Sirius XM at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, every Monday and Thursday. Follow along the Talk of Shame. And also my girl Krystina's Adventures at Krystina Arielle. And it's Krystina, Krystina. So if you haven't ordered my book, My Good Side, already, what are you waiting for? It's out July 22nd, but you can get it at mygoodsidebook.com. And I'll see you all back here next week getting into more shenanigans with I don't know who. Bye.
For this all my life.